Joining us now is OjyOkpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Janex.
A bit early today, but guess what? It's Friday.
Yes,
We're always
Friday,
happy. I'm happy to be here this early on Friday. How are you this morning?
Good.
Great. Good morning, Rufai. How are you?
Good, Oji.
Great.
See you here.
Perfect. Well, good morning to you, viewers. Let's begin what's trending with reactions trailing comments made by the Governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo, in which he said that investments in Anambra State being credited to the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, are worth next to nothing. Soludo made the comment during a live interview where he was invited to discuss the state's budget of 258.9 billion naira. Well, when asked about Obi's investments, Soludo claimed that he was not aware of any investment made by his predecessors. Peter Obi served as Anambra State Governor 3 times between 2006 and 2014 and is reported to have left over 26 billion naira in Anambra State coffers by the time he left office. Well, let's take some reactions. This is from Ahmed, who wrote, "This is the 3rd governor of Anambra State who has affirmed that Peter Obi's administration was a waste of time and total failure. Chris Ngige said Obi hates infrastructure. Obi himself had criticized government investment on infrastructure. The former governor, Obiano, also said the same thing." While Esteem wrote, "I'm told Soludo recently received over 268 million in oil derivation from a 4 billion naira investment Peter Obi had made in Orient Petroleum in 2012, one of many of his investment initiatives on behalf of Anambra State. Did he, Soludo, acknowledge that? No. Well, an old video where Peter Obi explained why he left so much money in Anambra State coffers has resurfaced online. He spoke in an interview with veteran journalist Kadaria Ahmed. Well, let's take a look before we come back for a discussion.
Before I leave the Soludo comments and go to other things, just quickly, part of the criticism was that you left too much money in the coffers at a time when he believed that there was actually things you could do with that money.
No, let me tell you. When people say I left too much money, that where I think things are critical for me, rather than go and spend the limited resources of the state, I try to look for federal government, development partners, assistance in other areas. What we did in terms of the money we left, if you're operating with the depleting assets, you must save for the future. And I'll give you an example. Somebody told me yesterday, said, the foreign currency component of your saving is about $170 million, which is like about 40 billion. Which state in Nigeria can say they have 40 billion?
Well, Dr. Abati, this story has been trending over social media from that interview Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo granted and talked about the fact that he was not aware of, any investment of his predecessors, and went on to talk about an investment that was, circulating on social media. I believe it was in relation to maybe Peter Obi's brewery, and that's the story online at this point, where, people talked about Peter Obi had invested or had, about $20 million in that brewery, and he said something about the brewery had, not made any money, or it's worthless at this point. Dr. Abati, over to you.
Again, it's political season. Yes. People will make, all kinds of claims. They will defend themselves. It's in the nature of the season for us to have this kind of development. However, what I've seen about this is that people are saying that Mr. Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, is from Anambra State. If anything, you will expect the governor of his home state to support him and not to say anything that will appear to demarcate him at a time when, emotions are rising high with regard to the political campaigns. The second thing to note about this particular matter is that Governor Soludo himself told his interviewer, on Channels TV, that, look, I'm here to discuss 2023 budget, not to talk about investments. But that these investments you are talking about, they amount to next to nothing. Now, in terms of the reactions, I note the reaction of Babatunde Gbadamosi, a Labour Party chieftain in Lagos State. He accused Governor Soludo, one, of demarketing his own kinsman. Two, he pointed out that after Peter Obi as governor, there was another governor, Governor Obiano, that the question that should be raised, even if he says and he can prove that the investments are next to nothing, what did Governor Willie Obiano do with those investments? Is it possible that it was under Willie Obiano that those investments were mismanaged? Considering the fact that it is not always in Nigeria that you have continuity, that you have commitment to legacy projects that have been put in place by the predecessor. Babatunde Gbadamosi also brought an issue which has been out there subtextually. And he said that he thinks that Governor Professor Charles Soludo is attacking or attacked Peter Obi because he himself has a personal ambition that he wants to become president. So in all of these narratives, you'll find a lot, that is involved in terms of, being your kinsman, in terms of two, personal ambitions, in terms of three, is the target right? Because it's been since 2007 or so that Mr. Peter Obi left office. So why is he being attacked at this particular time? Now, the question to also raise is that with the downturn in the economic fortunes of Nigeria, the Naira has been misbehaving, the foreign exchange has gone bad, every investment really has issues, okay? So that will be another dimension from which to look at it. But nobody has queried the fact that Mr. Peter Obi, in leaving office, left a very healthy balance sheet in Anambra State, and that he invested a lot in education. It was under his watch that Anambra, went tops in school examinations in Nigeria. But Professor Soludo says, in terms of investment, he intends to invest in public infrastructure, in health, in education, because he quickly, pirouetted away from that question to talk about his own investments in infrastructure. But the controversy is understandable, considering that Mr. Peter Obi is one of the leading candidates in the process of the 2023 election at the presidential level. But it's not my duty, to serve as his spokesperson. I'm sure that he has the capacity and he has a team behind him that will respond robustly to Governor Soludo's claims. And we look forward to that robust response. I'm sure some people, OjyOkpe and others are already putting the sentences together to put up a good response. Absolutely. But they have their right of reply. Yes. And it will be interesting to see what they have to say.
Absolutely. Well said, Dr. Abati. Rufai.
I mean, it's politics season, open season, you hear a lot. Right of reply, you hear a lot. But let's stick to the facts. What are the facts? The question is, did Peter Obi leave money when he was leaving, yes or no? He did leave. There's a letter to prove that. Shouldn't we celebrate people that leave money rather than in a country where people leave humongous debts? Because this same Governor Soludo that is speaking, when you look at it critically, he complained about the debt. We interviewed him here on Arise, where he was complaining about the debts that was left behind by Governor Obiano. The humongous debts. That there was virtually next to nothing left. So if somebody leaves behind, shouldn't we commend them? In a country where we are spending all of our revenue to service debts. The question is, did he make investments? Yes or no? What is the worth of those investments today? Did he achieve some milestones? The answers are out there. Dr. Abati, you said one, about the education sector. Did he make those inroads as regards bettering the lot of the people in the states? Did he reduce insecurity? Those are the facts we should look at. Not somebody saying, oh, the investments are worth nothing. But the question is, there was a person before him, there was a Governor Obiano, that this same Governor Soludo told us on this morning show that left a very good debt profile behind. And it was a problem for him when he started, which is a fact out there that we can't deny. So let's juxtapose facts for facts, here, and call a spade in this conversation. Yeah, I know he wanted to talk about his budget, and I also thought it was good that he did talk about his budget. And in all kudos to Governor Soludo, he has started, he cleared very big slums somewhere on Niger. He's been able to start some road infrastructure work, and all of that. I've been able to see some level of progress that he's made, because I take out time to watch Anambra Broadcasting Service from time to time and all of that. But what are the facts on ground? Did Peter Obi leave investment? Yes, he did. Did he make investment? Yes, he did. Did Governor Obi not leave money? No, he did not. He left debt, and Governor Soludo confirmed it to us on the show. Those are the facts we should deal with on ground.
That's it, Rufai. Well, we'll take another story. In the wake of recent crackdown of illegal oil pipelines in Nigeria's Niger Delta region, resulting to the decline of crude oil production, the country's main export, a crude oil transporter who has been in the business for 11 years, in a video that has now gone viral, narrated how he intercepted 2 trucks smuggling Nigeria's crude into Cameroon, stating that he did it to save Nigeria as Nigerians await the conviction of those responsible for vandalizing pipelines and the illegal export of crude. Let's take a look before we come back for a discussion.
Ebi ọmọ yan tó jẹ́ pọ̀ ọ̀gá ọ but èmi ni pé kí n fi gbogbo ìrìn àjò ilé ayé mi kí n fi jà fún country but tó bá ti sọ pé wọn ò gbà bẹ́ẹ̀ kí gbogbo aká pín wọ́n fi iṣẹ́ òun lẹ̀ fún wọn ṣẹlẹ̀ tó kàn mí tó ti rí àwọn mọ́tò tí mo mú lélẹ̀ gbogbo wọn pátápátá mo dá wọn dúró wọ́n ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń pè mí lọ́wọ́ pé èmi pé wọ́n fojú mi rí èèmọ̀ pé ọ̀gá tí ń pè mí wọ́n ní kò ṣẹlẹ̀ tó kàn mí máa fi iṣẹ́ òun lẹ̀ fún wọn mo ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ certificate tó yẹ kó mo lè fi iṣẹ́ láàbúrò mo lè fi iṣẹ́ anywhere see that ìbànújẹ́ let's wait and see. Ó ní controller ń pè ta ni èmi ẹni ṣoríire láyé kí Tinubu máa gbọ́ kó wo gbogbo bó ṣe ń bọ́ wọn fìyà jẹ gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ó ti rí wọn ibà mo wà mo ti ṣe 11 years nígbà wọn ò gbé mi síbi kan tó darí mi ò sí sẹ́ńtẹ́tà mi ò sí ní Àpápá mi ò sí ní sẹ̀mẹ́bọ́dà èmi máa ń defend the country ẹ wo torí pé mo kọ́ pé kó má jí epo lọ sí another country tí mo dẹ̀ wà ní anti-bunker so màá wá di pro-bunker mi ò lè ṣe láyé ẹ sọ̀tẹ̀ gbogbo wọn pátápátá wọn ní controller ń pè controller kò ti da fún controller tó fẹ́ máa jí owó àbí tó fẹ́ máa jí epo sọ fún mi 100 naira nù ẹni and I put my job online I'm a diligent Yorùbá man ṣe ti rí wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ gbogbo àwọn mọ́tò yìí wọ́n fẹ́ jí epo lọ sí Cameroon ni ṣe ti rí wọn wọ́n fẹ́ jí epo lọ sí Cameroon ni ṣe ti rí wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ so tó bá pa mí. If they kill me, you people have to understand that this is the conspiracy from the pit of hell. Are we one? No. How to look at it. Thank you.
Dr. Bati, can we applaud this good Samaritan? That's what I call him.
Well, I think the video raises more questions than answers. And it's not enough to just take it on its face value because it's sensational, because it's melodramatic. Is it the case that people smuggle fuel out of Nigeria? Yes. We've always expressed concern about that, leading to a situation whereby at some point the Nigerian government had to close the border, because of smuggling, whether it is of finished products or rice or of any other thing, making our borders very porous. 2, is it the case that we have issues with the management of the refining sector in Nigeria? Yes, that is true. 3, is it the case that all of these amounts to sabotage, loss of revenue for Nigeria? Yes. All these are the basic, contextual factors that we've been dealing with. But how do we connect this gentleman's, show in that video to all of this? He says he stopped the tankers. What did he use to stop them? Was he the driver of one of the tankers? Did he have the support of the security agencies, right? And some of the questions he raised, yes, his boss is calling him, asking him what the matter is and all that. Who exactly does he work for? Does he work for the oil company? In what capacity? He says he has not been posted to Tinkan or Apapa or Semeboda and he has not benefited 100 naira from all the money that is being made. Okay, what exactly is the issue? To protect the interests of Nigeria, or the fact that he has not been part of the loot, of the largesse? So many questions here. And then he was mentioning Tinubu there. He was saying Tinubu should have, yes, it's political season. It's very cheap to throw anybody's name into anything. Tinubu does not work in NNPC. He does not work in any of those oil companies. We do not know whether he's involved in the smuggling of fuel. So what exactly is the reference to Tinubu supposed to serve? What purpose is it supposed to serve? So my own take here is that, look, we need more information on this. It needs to be investigated. Maybe the security agencies will look at the tape, try to investigate further. Where did the incident occur? How did it occur? Is this a case of citizen action? If it is not citizen action, what exactly is the gentleman in the video trying to achieve? Because it's the investigation that will lead to far-reaching consequential action. Because he may have stopped by whatever capacity 2 trucks. Will he also stop trucks in the Adamawa zone? Will he also stop trucks in the northwestern part of the country? Because to deal with the issue of smuggling, right, the agencies of government, will need to take it more seriously and come up with a holistic response, not just episodic, citizen action that will raise more questions, even about the authenticity of the tape. There may even be some people who will go further and say, is this tape, is it a skit or an actual incident that occurs? So authentication will be important. Yes. And if it is authentic, then of course it's for the security agencies to take their cue from this.
Yes. Well, the point is that this video has gone viral, and the gentleman
that's gone viral does not make it authentic.
No.
All kinds of nonsense go viral.
You have to let me land
on social media.
My sentence.
No.
Okay, the point is that the video has gone viral, and the gentleman was able to expose himself in that video for the authorities to take a good look at and probably question him. And I think that is the most important thing now, and that's why I've highlighted this video, because it is a big problem. Smuggling of crude.
So 3 things. Number 1, we must subject the video to various authentication software, to be able to ascertain the location, geomap it, timestamp it. If it says on the Cameroonian border, let's even have like a geolocation of the video and exactly say where is it, because there's software that can show you the time of that video, where it's exactly happening and all of that. And also, after doing that, be able to authenticate it, then investigation should be opened up, because these are very grievous allegations, and it's just an indication about the crude oil smuggling that happened. What do you expect, Oji, in a country where there's a lot of arbitrage? You buy petrol at 170 here, you even get it at X depot price from the depots, and you just drive it into Cameroon, Niger, or Cote d'Ivoire, or Cotonou or something, and you send it for 500 or thereabouts. So you make like 300 cool money. You give people at the border posts XYZ amount of money and all of that. So he stopped that. In the video, he also talked about him being an anti-bunkering unit. So probably he's a custom official, being part of anti-bunkering unit. And you can see his own car in the middle of both cars, at which he has stopped them. But that's also subject to more verification. So that should be verified. He also made the very strong allegations that people high up have been calling him customs and all of that. I think the customs should come out and issue a statement as regards this. Let's even know who is calling, to be able to beg. And please, nobody must beg on behalf. This is theft. He's done well to be able to stop this. This is theft. Nobody must beg. What we should see is that people should be indicted for this. They should be taken to the court of law, and we should find a lasting solution to it. The part of the video I don't get is the political undertone that Tinubu is suffering. I think that's apart from this. Right. You can just say that political, but that's not the main substance of the matter is that crude oil theft is happening through our land borders. Also, crude oil theft, they're taking the crude, so they are doing 2 things. They are stealing crude, and they're also stealing our hard-earned petrol that we subsidize. That about 5-6 trillion of our money is going on subsidied for. They're also stealing that. So it's multiple prong. And also, we would like the Tanker Drivers Association and IPMAN, other association of tanker owners, should also come out and comment on this, because there's no how the drivers will not be members of them or people they know.
Well said, Rufai. We shall take our final story, highlighting another good Samaritan, this time in Cross River State. The man in a video now making the rounds on social media revealed refuse dumped in several communities, some in front of people's homes. Let's take a look before we come back for a discussion.
All right, so guys, Calabar must be clean again. We are still moving around the Calabar South Metropolis. This is White House by William George. This is Atu by Ebito. Bassi by St. Mary's Lane. Chamley by Ejeli. This is White House by Chamley. Ekpo Bassi. From Yellow to Gassi, we are going to Kuta. Just before you get to the Success filling station. This is White House. New Airport. New Airport. Oh, this one they Calabar South. See, now funny enough, we have this one take even first marriage. We say this dirty day front of person compound. Mama.
If I'm not talking now.
This is a complete disgrace. We were only just talking about Governor Yade and celebrating his quantum infinitum. This is his state. I mean, this is appalling to see. Unacceptable, Rufai.
And this is the irony of leadership. That's why, please, 2020 elections, vote for the right leaders. Calabar used to be known for cleanliness.
That's what you said.
Anytime they mention Calabar, at some point, some people touted it, but it's not empirical, so I don't like state facts. People touted that it's one of the cleanest cities in this country, only to see it becoming one of the dirtiest now that we're seeing. It's quite very sad.
Indeed, it was a very clean city. I lived there. I went to school
That's
there.
True. Great Malabite.
Yes. But it's, quite an eyesore.
Yes, it is.
What that report says.
Yes,
anyway, thank you very
much.
much.
Well, thank you both for your great analysis, and you both have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend, Audrey.
Well, that's all I have for you on What's Trending today. I'll see you tomorrow.